Hey everyone. Ugh, I love how all my videos reversed on this. So, hello. I am home with some sick kids today. So pardon the mess behind me. Today is 1 week since I started my 30 days of Instagram challenge, and I wanted to share some initial findings, results, decisions with everyone because I think it's imperative to understand that there's not going to be some like quick fix, go viral overnight solution with Instagram necessarily. Um, I've had the weirdest things get really popular on Instagram, and other things that I thought would do well did not. For instance, I had a video, like a time lapse of making pierogies that got like 200 views, but then I had like just a little like zoom in, zoom out of the finished pierogies, got like 1,500 views, right? So Instagram is weird, and I wanted to review what I've seen so far. So we are 1 week in, and one of the first things I noticed was that when we did the initial video, I used Claude, which was giving me like multiple things to do a day, like a reel and a story, or a reel and a carousel, a lot of content. And then I went to go use ChatGPT because ChatGPT had all of my branding, all of my language, all of my customer profiles, and it only gave me one thing to post a day. It was either a reel or a static post or a carousel or a story. And what I found was reels are really great for reach and visibility. Posts are really good for engagement with your existing followers, and stories are really good for polls and relationship building. So what was happening was I wasn't doing reels every day because even reels with only 200 views still have a reach outside of your audience. I think on all of my reels, I think like the followers to versus non-followers was like, I don't know, some really small ratio. And so I wanted to do more reels, but I wanted to do it in conjunction with the static posts. I wanted to leverage that increased visibility with increased engagement on my actual profile. So, my first week was mostly just kind of trying to see what content I liked. So, one other thing I was doing is instead of having a specific day where I did a story, I shared everything that I posted every day to my stories, or at least as often as I could. So it may have been a carousel post day, but that carousel post also ended up on my stories. Because I think having a day where your only content is stories is not a great strategy. Your story reach is only to your followers, and it's honestly pretty low. Again, it's really great for reinforcing relationships, but really not great for broader engagement and visibility, in my mind. So, that being said, after the first 7 days, here are my results, and I will share a link to my spreadsheet so you can all see this. Um, so I started out the week with 489 Instagram followers, an average of 2 engagements a day, no story views because I didn't do stories, no website clicks, no email signups. And then I also decided to track my Facebook stats because I'm sharing to Facebook because I want to compare the two. Because historically I've pushed a lot more on Facebook. So Facebook I had 467 followers, so about 20 followers less than Instagram. Zero engagement, zero website clicks, so everyone was starting out pretty much the same. Now, what I saw was pretty early on my Instagram engagements bumped up. So um, I had, 2 engagements that first day that I posted. I had 10 engagements yesterday on the 12th. And so, with that growth, I was averaging about 8 engagements a day. Like I said, it was kind of like up and down. So I will share that spreadsheet, like I said. Instagram stories, like I said, I was sharing everything to stories. Now, this one was a little bit harder for me to figure out, and I might have to dig a little bit more. According to Instagram, I only had 2 engagements on my stories, and that was on the 7th. But I don't think that's right because I definitely had more than 2 votes on a poll that I put up. So I'm going to have to double check that. Now, I didn't get any click throughs from Instagram. I didn't get any email signups from Instagram. But the engagements, like I said, went from 2, an average of 2 a day, to an average of 8 a day. and I gained one follower. I went from 489 to 490. My goal is 30 followers by the end of these 30 days. So we're a little behind schedule right now, but I also know that Instagram is a game of consistency and a game of inertia. So once you start getting some traction going, it's a lot easier to keep it going. So I only got one, but I'm confident that that will keep growing. Now on Facebook, I started with 467 followers. It went up and down a little bit. You know how like profiles get deleted. Ended with 468, but technically I gained 2 new followers. So Facebook, I saw a little bit better stats with the followers, but the Facebook engagements were significantly lower. I was averaging, so I went from 0 engagements to my highest day of engagement was the 11th. That was 4 engagements. So I'm averaging like 1.3 engagements a day on Facebook. So Facebook is just way less engaged for me. And so what that's telling me is between these two platforms, Instagram is definitely a better place to spend my energy right now when it comes to engagements. Now, what about when it comes to converting to sales? I don't know. Facebook is still 0 website clicks and 0 email signups. But like I said, this first week was kind of figuring out, did this content plan work? Did it not? And so I have been tweaking it. I've been working on some more videos. So I have a long form video, a 15-minute kind of get ready with me new knitting project edition that's going to go on YouTube that I'm going to repurpose into reels for Instagram, and we'll see how that goes, which I'm also going to repurpose into some static posts and stories as well as I get started on this new project. I'm also pulling up some older content that I know did really well and reusing that and seeing how it does. So my goal in week 2 is to start having a reel going out at least every other day, but also having a static post or carousel going out every day to keep that visibility, with a few more calls to action. So this first week was a little bit more of like reintroducing myself. So now I want to do calls to action and get people to my website, but also more specifically get them to my wholesale. I don't do vendor events anymore. I don't do a lot of direct to consumer aside from my website. But what I want to do is do a lot more wholesale and ramp up my manufacturing production and larger orders to wholesalers, just because vendor events just do not work for the phase of life that I'm in. So, as a summary, what are my Instagram results so far? Increased engagement, which is awesome. I need to get in front of more people, so we're going to work on some reels, and I need to convert more of them to followers. So what are these kind of people interested in when it comes to knitting and crafting content? My content can't just be about my bags. It has to be about what it's like to use my bags in everyday life, and you know, how they contribute to making people's lives easier and more fun, and what else we do. So that's what I'm going to work on this week. I'm going to give you a view-only link of my spreadsheet so you can see the original content plan, which I have started revamping, so I'm going to update that, along with my metrics tracking so you can see those numbers, because I want full visibility in this. I want you to trust that I am being honest with what I'm reporting, and give you a way to ask any questions about what I'm doing or how I'm doing it or why I'm doing it a certain way. So I would love to drop in the comments if you are doing your own Instagram test and how that is going. I would love to hear your results after your first week as well if you decide to do this. But otherwise, keep checking into the group. I'm going to post updates periodically, and I will be doing a week 2 update next Monday. So I will see you then.